Good afternoon again after the short break. We're now in our last session of the day. I mean, this is a very important discussion we're going to have now. It's technologies, growing in Turkey. The capabilities there are increasing all the time, and we're looking for what is mutually beneficial in terms of investment between Turkey and UK. And obviously, our panelists here are going to give their views and insights. I mean, it's a very knowledgeable panel, so a lot of answers that we've been looking for. But it's something that the UK does prioritise in terms of its sectors, and obviously Turkey is one of our priority markets. So the two things come together quite well. So I'm going to hand over to Kemal, who's going to moderate this particular panel, and I'll hand over to him and let him introduce the two panelists that we have today. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. It's an honor to be here and speaking after you, and EL event for introducing us and inviting us this valuable organization. It was really nice and very efficient. Today we are going to speak about technology in the UK, which is very big thing. Obviously, you know that I am the CEO of London Bridge Project. We represent several amount of tech companies in the UK and from UK to the global markets. And today we are together with Daniel and Moris. We will speak more about why UK is charming for the Turkish companies who would like to do tech business, and how you can introduce your products and services to the international markets by leveraging your appearance in the UK. Daniel, if you don't mind, I want to start with you. Let me briefly introduce you to our audiences. Daniel is the techUK cybersecurity program lead, and I'm sure he's going to give more information about the techUK, but honestly, I can say techUK is one of the most important organization in the UK, centralized in London, and managing all the UK's tech ecosystem. Thank you for joining us, Daniel. Can you introduce the techUK? And then I have one question for you.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. So as Kemal said, I lead the techUK cybersecurity program. A little bit more on techUK more broadly. We're the national trade association for the digital and technology sectors, comprising of about 850 members across the piece, various sectors, and ranging from the kind of smallest innovators and SMEs across the country, right up to your big kind of tech behemoths. And our role really is to act as a conduit for growth across digital and technology, by growing markets and making those connections between businesses that kind of make the UK one of the best places to run a business in the world. So that's the kind of broad strokes. I'll touch on cybersecurity a bit more specifically later on, but looking forward to the panel.
Yeah, thank you for the brief introduction about techUK. I suggest everyone take a look at the techUK website. So let's start one of the most favorite question and our, let's say, pain in like more than 5 years now. Brexit and post-Brexit and other transformative events like COVID-19. And what change do you think we will see in the technology investment arena, especially for the very near future?
Sure. I mean, I think this is a great question. It kind of addresses the elephants in the rooms. It's good. To be honest, I think I'll start by saying that I think the UK's strengths in this space will remain. And, the UK's got a number of key strengths across digital and tech, and for the investment landscape more broadly. So, we're still going to be between the Asian and American time zones, covering 99% of the world's GDP. We're still going to have the infrastructure around ports, the largest air transport system in Europe. Digital infrastructure, that's world leading as well, and that's going to remain. And then, London has always been a big for international companies, and I'll talk a little bit more later about how, while that strength remains in London, we're also seeing a lot of interesting stuff going on more regionally, and that's impacted by COVID-19 as well. The second point I'd make on this, I suppose, is that we've got strong background in technology across the piece. So we don't have a specific focus on one area. The UK is strong across technology, you know, in areas like AI, smart cities, 5G and cyber, which is my area. We have expertise in the companies that are already producing world-leading capability in all of those. And that will continue despite Brexit and COVID-19 and all those things. On COVID-19 specifically, I think, you know, that's obviously a worldwide problem. It's a shared problem. The UK faces specific challenges around it, and those will continue into the new year. But I think taking kind of encouragement from what we've done so far, you know, we're all meeting today online and working increasingly online. And I think that that's a testament to the strength in that sector and the kind of flexibility that we've shown across technology. Utilising those tools, I think the UK has done quite well. We're already very digitally enabled, and that's only going to continue, I think. And on Brexit more specifically, I think we have to adapt to these issues and these problems that are going to be posed to us. On Brexit, there's opportunities as well as those challenges. So how can we use potential new freedoms to attract the best talent through things like Einstein visas, and how can we create the best world-leading digital investment? I think they're there to be grasped, and we've already, as I've just talked about, adapted really quickly in 2020, so it bodes well. The role that techUK has in this space is lobbying government to ensure that this kind of ecosystem in suitable conditions, that's maintained after Brexit. We as an organisation are very involved in the kind of digital trade policy conversations that are ongoing both with the EU and more widely. And I think that, you know, it's getting to, I think the signs are that, you know, the UK strengths will remain and that we will have some relationships going forward with the key kind of global players. And I'm sure that, you know, this time, well, 3 months from now, that should be a lot more clear. I know that that's a big concern for industry and something that we're often in touch with government about. So I'll leave that there, but happy to kind of broaden the discussion.
Well, what I believe is if there is a risk, there will be a more opportunity. So, I mean, it's a very painful point for unclear situation of the Brexit, which is government working a lot about with the organization like yourself to clarify it. But if there is an uncertainty, I believe that the opportunity is also coming. So I go back to Moris, and let me introduce you, Moris. I'm sure many people know Moris as well from Turkey, especially. He is the partner of Director of Business Development at Inveon. He's going to give more information about Inveon, but Inveon is one of the brilliant companies, tech companies in Turkey. Before joining Inveon, he was working in Google's Dublin office, where he focused on improving search engine results and protecting subscribers from invalid clicking. During his time at Google, he was invited to give speeches and share subscriber case studies all over the world, including the UK. And formerly, he was working in Endeavor, consulting entrepreneurs in the selection process. Also, he holds a high honors degree in physics from Boğaziçi University. And great. And welcome to the panel, Moris. Can you give more information about Inveon? And also, I have one more question. What are the expertise and your presence in the UK and the story behind it?
Okay. Kemal, thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you everybody who's attending this session, even though I cannot see you, but I'm honored to be here and try to share what we had so far with our UK experience and what will be done. So about Inveon, Inveon was established almost 14 years ago, 2006, and focusing on e-commerce, mostly digital commerce of retail companies and FMCG companies. We're trying to solve their problems with a unified and scalable platform usage and try to increase their digital commerce presence with a sustainable growth. So as our main focus, since we have, of course, started from Turkey, we have lots of companies from Turkey, including Columbia, Collins, Yargıcı, Watsons, Samsung, Unilever, and Coca-Cola. And also we have presence in different countries, including Russia, UAE, Romania, Switzerland, and of course UK. Currently we have invested in UK and strengthened our presence in UK market, especially for the last couple of 3-4 years. And we have seen up until now, of course, the Turkish market and UK market differs a lot by their nature. So we try to use our high adaptation capability to transform our competencies for the specific needs of the market and for the specific needs of the customers here. And also we're like, as a globalized company, Inveon structures its team, investments, and also mindset, and also try to improve its fast adaptation capacity and keeping ourselves up to date. So our main objectives for UK and our presence outside of Turkey. So maybe I would like to start with like why we start investing in the UK in the first place. So what we have seen as a tech hub, the United Kingdom market is highly competitive and also challenging, but this is also actually why we are very enthusiastic about that. So we see it is full of opportunities, and also with help from the investment part of the Turkish government and UK as well. So we're trying to invest more and more in UK market. We're trying to increase our know-how and trying to invest in long-term perspective, especially of course with COVID-19 outbreak. We have seen a lot of increase in the high capacity and the talent of Turkey from different countries, especially including UK. So in UK, I think there are lots of people, lots of companies, lots of clients that are looking for cost-effective choices with high talent, and actually this shows directly to Turkish market for this very high-quality talent with cost-efficient structures. So in that case, we are finding UK market very interesting, very compelling to us, and we already have a couple of clients from UK market and hoping to grow our business in this market.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned previously, UK is one of the competitive markets globally, and especially we are speaking about the tech market. It is one of the top compared to the continental Europe. All the statistics show that we are like 5 times more competitive, but attractive. So it's attracting a lot of talents and good companies. So it's not hard, it's not easy to achieve in the UK. And my question is, what is your main objective and actions of Inveon to increase the presence in the UK and reaching out to the global markets from the UK in that competitive environment?
Actually, it's like, as you said, like UK market is highly competitive, and also not only within the UK market, but also in European market and also worldwide as well. So we have seen some of the challenges, especially while we're entering the Turkish market, UK market. So the first interaction with the customer and reaching out to the customer can be a real challenge here. So we need to have established branding, and we need to increase our presence in UK market. We need to reach out to different type of clients from different verticals, including retail and also including FMCG as well. So in that sense, that would be probably our main focus. And secondly, making convenient investments and using various ways to create an extensive strategy in order to get through these challenges. So this would be probably another second thing, that having a strong strategy to go over which companies that we would like to approach and what kind of pain points we would like to solve for those clients. That would be the second thing in our agenda. And thirdly, what we're thinking is creating high quality partnership with the right partners. That would be ERP partners, digital marketing agencies, and logistics companies. That would be an extension for e-commerce businesses. So these kind of partners probably help us to open new doors and to get us a better known company as an e-commerce service provider and also a business partner in UK market. And in that sense, after if we can unlock potentials of UK market, we would like to continue our presence in different European countries as well. Currently, we are working together with European countries like Germany and Switzerland, especially during the early days of COVID-19 outbreak. Inveon partnered with the Swiss E-commerce and Digital Association, maybe you heard the name, Netcom Swiss, and SimilarWeb, and conducted the research together with them. The main purpose of this report was understanding the main shifts in website browsing behavior in the main e-commerce industries in Switzerland during the early phases of COVID-19 lockdown period. So actually, there are lots of good outcomes with this report. And this data showed that website traffic has increased for the e-commerce categories in food by 50%, and in consumer electronics by 11%, and in home and garden 65%. So actually, this concludes us that, especially in e-commerce business, there will be more and more increase in the demand of creating highly personalized and also highly robust systems for retailers and FMCG companies.
Yeah, great. I mean, there are some risks, but the risks force us to change and adaptation, and it creates new opportunities. And also, your company is in a lucky position to give the e-commerce infrastructure and the services. I go back to Daniel. So I have two questions. As we are speaking about the potential of the UK, it's more kinetic than the potential of the UK, but what key aspects do you think makes the UK the best place to invest and grow a business? It might come as an obvious question, but I know as a representative of techUK, you have some very important clues to share with the audiences. And the second question is, how does techUK support the international trade space? And how can the organization here today best engage with the ecosystem?
Sure. I think I'd like to just pick up on what Moris has just touched on around the compare. I think obviously that competitiveness brings challenges with it as well, but I think it means that if the pitch is right and if the solution's right and the technology's right, that the opportunities are there for companies to really gain value, gain investment in the UK space. And I think we were having a chat just before we came on live around the kind of statistics that we see in the sector. And last year, the UK saw 44% year-on-year growth in UK investments, UK VC investments to £10.1 billion. That's a third of the total investment in all of Europe, and it's also more than Germany and France combined. And the EU's largest tech sectors in fintech, enterprise software, health, energy, and transport are all in the UK. So I think the message there is that this is a well-trodden path. People are doing this in the UK already, and it kind of leads the way and shows that, you know, the opportunities are there. I think just a few other reasons why the UK is the best place to invest in your business. I mean, first of all, you know, we're still the 6th largest economy in the world, and there's a market of 65 million potential customers, and, you know, millions of businesses, organisations. We've already touched on London. London leads the European Startup Index, but that's not the only game in town. You know, places like Cambridge, Manchester, Edinburgh also score in the top 20 on that index, and I think that's the trend that we've seen over the last year. We've got government with a levelling up agenda, and there's obviously a push to do more regionally, and there's, you know, real benefits to operating in those regions as well, not least, you know, more cost effective, and there's various clusters, and I'll touch about this a bit more later on. Various clusters in certain technologies in different parts of the country that mean you can, you know, be alongside other innovators and form those networks and partnerships. I think as well, and this kind of leads on to the second part of that question, Kemal, is that techUK exists to do 3 things in the international trade space, I suppose. The first is helping our members access export opportunities. So, you know, I don't mean that it's just the UK. The UK is also a door to the rest of the world, whether that's, you know, at the moment through the EU, but also Five Eyes nations, and more widely through other international organisations the UK is part of. You know, those trade links are there, and obviously, you know, we're a hub of talent and networks for the rest of the world. We also try and better understand and inform the debate around the case for inward investment. I think we touched on Brexit already, and that's the real danger, isn't it? That Brexit, that inward investment we've seen reach record levels in the last few years. So techUK plays a big role in kind of encouraging that from key markets across the globe. And also, and we've touched on this already as well, influencing that trade policy. So being a vocal advocate on behalf of industry to ask government to do certain things in that space. You know, what markets are important to businesses, what areas are we most strong in, what areas do we need most help in, whether that's access to talent or other things. So those are the kind of 3 key offerings in techUK. I have a number of colleagues that work specifically in the international trade space, and I'm happy to make those links afterwards to the relevant people, whilst I exist mainly in the cybersecurity domain. And the last point, going back to those strengths that I mentioned earlier in answer to your first question, you know, excellent international accessibility through the UK. Already have those strong technology sectors, that talent's here, those businesses are here, and I suppose that's the last point I'd make, is that we have large companies and small companies. We have the smallest innovators that are doing really cutting edge things, and we also have the big tech companies that are able to quickly exploit and advance those technologies. So the best and brightest companies engage at both those ends of that spectrum, and kind of leverage those relationships to kind of further their goals as well. So I'll leave that with them.
Okay, thank you for the information. And I believe that UK is one of the best starting point for any kind of tech companies. But as you mentioned, there are several priorities for the UK government and also the customer base that you can specifically select the UK. But honestly, for most of the Turkish entrepreneurs, like the London is equal to the UK, which is not, obviously. You will find better opportunities in different cities of the UK. As you said, maybe Birmingham might be, or Leeds might be better for your energy investments for the tech companies. Let's be specific about the tech domains and give some specific examples. I want to start with you, Moris. And can you give your predictions about the trends of e-commerce industry, and not only for the retail or the consumer side, but also the technology? Maybe you may want to give some information about what we are looking for the near future at the technology side.
Okay, perfect. So it's a good field. As you said, I think as Inveon, we are in a lucky place that we have established our platform very strongly. And during, especially with this pandemic period, we have seen a really high jump in the e-commerce revenues of retailers and of FMCG companies and some grocery companies. So what we have seen, especially most of the retailers will evolve their processes. Maybe some of them will close some of their offline shops and focus more on the online part, and some of them might have only pure online businesses. So we will see more and more jump in those fields. So I'd like to answer your question in two ways. One, what could be the next wave for e-commerce industry? And secondly, what should we expect in those waves, like different technologies, as you said? So firstly, I think FMCG will lead the second wave in the e-commerce industry. Because as far as you know, as far as we all know, most of the FMCG companies prefer to sell their goods through marketplaces like Amazon or eBay. So currently, rising trend is talking about the D2C platforms, direct-to-consumer platforms, which actually not eliminates, but kind of replaces the distributors and retailers and helps the FMCG companies reach out to the final customer directly, which actually helps them to keep the data of the consumer and get the instant reactions, and also help them to grow all the logistics and all the other channels according to their needs. So we're trying to extend our field and not only targeting to retail market. Currently, we are working together with FMC giants like Unilever and Coca-Cola Company. And actually, it's like what probably we'll see that will help, that will need definitely extensive perspectives. Like we need to broaden our approach to cover both the B2B part, B2C part, D2C part, and E2E, and end-to-end part as well. So we like all the acronyms. So like all the 3 words acronyms, we love them. But as I said, I think e-commerce, most of the e-commerce will need help from those kind of approaches. And secondly, probably we will need more and more improves in the logistics parts. We will have more and more daily deliveries, even hourly deliveries. And also in Turkey, it is very common, less than 15 minutes delivery for FMCG goods, like the grocery goods. So probably we will see more and more these kind of delivery options more in our fields. Secondly, one of the most important things, it is widely spoken within a couple of years as well, is the personalization part. We will definitely see more personalized offers depending on our historical choices and also the trends as well. So in that cases, keeping most of the data among our data warehouses, having a personalized, agile, and a robust web system and e-commerce platform becoming more and more important in the forthcoming days.
As like a giant e-commerce market in the UK, there are hundreds of opportunities for the Turkish tech investors to get involved. I mean, it's not easy. It takes time. It needs money to be invested. But when you do that, I believe that there's a giant opportunity for everyone. And it is booming right now. It's booming. And although like it's 2.5 more than the continental Europe's e-commerce capacity in the UK, still I believe that you will have easily 50% of market share in SCT. And I go back to Daniel for a more specific tech domain, cyber security. I don't know if you will be frightened about it or love it, but then your focus is in the cyber domain. And what key strengths do you think the UK has which enable international trade, both in terms of FDI exports?
Sure. I think that the cyber security sector is actually a really good case study in how the UK has approached a certain sector or a certain area in a certain way that's meant we've ended up in a really good position internationally. I think just picking up on the kind of national strategy level policy work that's gone on over the last 10 years, we've seen 2 centralized national cybersecurity strategies that have kind of really meant that we've kind of come on leaps and bounds in terms of various areas, but most notably national cyber capabilities and also the ecosystems that companies exist within in the UK. And those are, you know, from your largest corporate companies right down to the smallest innovators that produce, you know, niche products in various areas from encryption to threat intelligence. So that means that now in 2020, we're certainly amongst the world's elite in cybersecurity. And I think that that's built on a really strong public-private partnership within the UK that sees industry and government work hand in hand to pursue certain policies and certain ideas. And in techUK's view, that has to continue going forward to make sure we're keeping up with the likes of the US and Israel and nations like that have also got very strong cyber capabilities. I think touching on that, the real strength in the cyber area is that we have a great dearth of companies that look at various specific technologies, whether that be network security or, like I've mentioned, encryption. And that means that those companies are able to play together. And again, it's that case of a well-trodden path. We know a number of Turkish companies that have made the transition and developed a presence in the UK that really benefited from engaging with other UK companies to promote their offerings within wider products or coming together in partnerships and areas like that. And I think that's the key, because one thing in the cyber domain is, you know, one technology doesn't solve everything. It's about posture and approach across an organisation. So every organisation's got to look at a whole gamut of different areas. So, you know, any organisation that's offering a one-stop cyber shop. Also, again, that kind of open door to the rest of the world as part of the national cybersecurity strategy. There's also international export strategy for cybersecurity technologies. And DIT's already got a really strong network of how, you know, UK capabilities and companies with presence in the UK can then widen out their scope and export internationally. We've got key target areas, places like the Gulf and North America, where we've got specific trade envoys that just focus on cybersecurity, and also increasingly looking at emerging economies as part of that prosperity agenda that's really important to UK government. As well, I'd just like to touch on that regional point as well one last time before I hand back to you, Kemal. What we see in cybersecurity is increasingly around the country that are very, very strong in certain cyber areas. And we've seen clusters emerge over the last 5 years in areas like Cheltenham. Obviously, there's a GCHQ there, but also places like South Wales and Manchester, where there's pockets of innovation that really come together and improve cybersecurity, not only in the UK, but also the capabilities that we offer. So from that point, kind of strength and concentration in one area, we see real innovation coming through. And I think that that's something you're going to see government focused on in the coming years to kind of formalise that structure a bit more. And I think COVID-19's proven as well. So I'm currently set up in Newcastle, 300 miles away from techUK's office. So I think that focus on London won't be as important going forward. You know, London's always going to be one of the best cities in the world. It's going to be a leading international city, but you can work from anywhere now. And, you know, there's various opportunities and different reasons why, you know, a place like Manchester or Yorkshire might be just as attractive to companies as London might be going forward.
All right, great. Yeah, there is an obvious opportunity on cybersecurity domain in the UK, and a couple of weeks ago, I guess one of our Turkish clients, Atar Labs, has also bought from a cybersecurity giant in the UK, which gives a clue for everyone that there is a real opportunity. It's not we are speaking about the potential, we are speaking about the actual and real business. And cybersecurity or e-commerce are one of a few examples of many. And also we have like Welsh government supporting the investments, central government, Scotland, and many other states, and the clusters that you can join and leverage your business. The important thing is there is a certain opportunity for tech investments in the UK. You need to leverage your business. It might be working with techUK, for example, to get benefit with the services and information and the connections, or finding out your best perfect match partners. Like Moris said, it might be a digital marketing company, could be a channel for you, but all you need to do is know your domain and work on it and share some time to be a special solution provider for your domain for the UK to get a step ahead of the competition. And it's not easy, by the way, but it is achievable. And also there are some incentives coming through the Turkish government at the same time. It's not only the UK government supporting the tech investments in the UK, but also our government, Turkish government, is supporting international business. These are the exporting incentives coming from directly from the Turkish government, for example, for your marketing costs or sales costs or your office rent. In the UK, especially for London, if you speak about London, it's like 3-4 times expensive than rest of the UK. So thank you, Moris. Thank you, Daniel, for the very valuable information, your insights. And it's really glad to hear your success stories, Moris. And thank you for sharing information of the techUK's domain, Daniel. These are very important for me. Hopefully audiences also get benefit of your insights and the information. And I give the word back to the Chris, and stage again. Chris is yours. Stage is yours again. Thank you. Well, I can't hear you. I don't know if I'm.
You're talking about technology, and technology has passed me by, I'm afraid. You know, I'm sort of technology challenged, but I'm learning a lot in COVID, so I'm catching up on what I've missed in the past. Anyway, I'm just saying, thank you to Kemal and thank you to Daniel and to Moris for the very interesting and insightful discussions we've had about technology and opportunities in UK. And I just also like to emphasise the growing strength in Turkey in terms of technology, talent, and capability. And it's as I said at the beginning, it's an ideal match where we can bring both financial support, funding opportunities for Turkish startups in UK, so that they can realise their potential. So there's lots of mutual benefit there that will enhance both the Turkish tech sector and also add to the UK tech sector as well. But thank you for the panel. As I say, I've listened with great interest, and I'm sure we'll all benefit from that. And I'd just like to wish you a good weekend, and stay safe. And we hope to see you again soon. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Hope to see you soon again.
Bye.
Thank you.